The dystopian reality in Canada is insane.
A mild start to winter in Kelowna, a sudden drop in temperatures has exposed the harsh realities of living homeless.
A little bit chilly, but not too bad. I'm pretty well equipped with my space.
With no available shelter space, people are living at this encampment along the rail trail. It's where Erica Stewart and Blake Mercury have made their homes.
Yeah, absolutely. Would I like to be in a better situation where I feel safe and I can lock a door and, not be in the elements? Of course.
Every day there is more and more increase in crime, homelessness, and drug addiction. Now Edmonton mayor seeks to declare housing and homelessness emergency.
Well, the mayor of Edmonton says his city is at a breaking point. He wants to declare a housing and homelessness emergency.
Yeah, you will have to declare something because you have some type of emergency. I think instead of declaring housing and homelessness emergency, in Canada we need to declare liberal insanity emergency. You have people in the streets shooting heroin, guys. Like, you have people actually having legal access to shoot heroin for free.
What is the city doing to try to make sure that everyone can protect themselves from this extreme cold?
Well,
how does he even know? He's just some mayor sitting in some office in Edmonton, and she's asking him like he knows anything.
First of all, I just want to stress the point that Edmonton is a winter city, but this is
big news. Edmonton is a winter city.
Extreme cold.
We also know that you are planning to declare a housing and homelessness emergency at a special meeting tomorrow, which has been an ongoing issue in the city.
More money. Let's declare emergency and then beg for more money and social assistance. Who is going to pay for it? You are.
In Edmonton for quite some time now. Why do you think the city has reached this breaking point now?
Over the last number of years, particularly during COVID and after COVID, we have seen.
Who brought COVID, Mayor? Who brought COVID? Maybe you should call Trudeau and ask him. And Tam, why did they shut down the whole country, printed so much fiat currency and bankrupted this country? Now the banks will end up owning everybody. Everybody will be renting if they're lucky, or they'll just be in Edmonton and other cities homeless. And you'll be in there acting like a hero.
So we have
I do want to ask you something that we heard just this past Friday from Alberta's Minister of Seniors, Community and Social Services Minister. And he called this declaration a political stunt. So we're wondering, why do you think it is necessary? What do you think in terms of tangible solutions?
You guys are all political clowns. It's all acting. The mayor is acting. Everybody's acting. He acts like he cares about these people. If you cared about these people, you would just allow them to have some type of a other tiny home type of situation, not end up giving them drugs.
What are those tangible solutions that you think might actually come out of this declaration?
There are tangible solutions. Prior to COVID, the houseless population in Edmonton and Alberta significantly declined. But during COVID, we have an increased population, and the social structure, the social system that is built to deal with those situations is not properly funded. We don't have enough.
He wants money. It's not properly funded. Homelessness has risen due to COVID. Who brought COVID? Trudeau and his globalist partners. Now they want more money. Who's going to pay for it? The working Canadians are going to pay for it. He wants more money. How about we fix homelessness crisis in Canada instead of giving them free crack and heroin? Absolutely surreal. The policy of the Liberal Trudeau government has absolutely destroyed Canada since at least 2015 that I have noticed myself. It was fine until these policies started. With the weed being legalized, now crack, cocaine, heroin are being distributed to people in the streets. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to have more people addicted to drugs, more people not working. You're going to have increase in homelessness, increase in mental issues that people are having. Now, looking at homelessness statistics in Canada, we are seeing that every night in Canada there's around 35,000 people that are homeless and are sleeping basically outside. How can in a country like this, in such a vast and resource rich country, how can you have 35,000 people just sleeping outside? That's just insanity. That's insanity, total insanity. And it's costing the Canadian society annually $7 billion. Homelessness costs Canada $7 billion. According to the State of Homelessness report from 2016, there were at least 235,000 homeless people in Canada. So that's a pretty considerable number, I would say, for a country that has such vast resource ability. However, the report says there could be more people that are homeless in Canada. Now, looking at another issue is rental crisis in Canada. So we have multiple emergencies happening in Canada: drug, homelessness, rental emergency, and they're all connected to each other. Alberta and Saskatchewan have some of the cheapest cities to rent. Yes, they are, because it's cold and it's full of drugs and people don't want to be here. They go to provinces like Ontario, Vancouver. Alberta rental prices are rising faster than the average. Yes, they're rising faster than the average. A third of Canadians live in rented accommodations. Okay, this is the one I was going to get to. According to 2021 census, and now the number of Canadians who are renting their home has grown 21.5% since 2011. During the same period, the number of homeowners grew by just 8%. This means that 33% of Canadians are now living in rented accommodations. 33% of Canadians are renting. That means 33% of Canadians are not homeowners, and the number is just rising, has been rising faster than homeownership numbers. Now we'll look at homeownership statistics for Canadians. Homeownership rate of 66.5% from the latest census is the lowest since 2002. We have the lowest homeownership number since 2002 at 66%. That means that only 66% of Canadians own homes. Now that number doesn't mean they own that home because they have mortgage on it. That means they're basically renting. So approximately 35% of Canadians homeowners have a mortgage in 2023. That means 35% of the 66% they don't own their home. That means only a third of Canadians possibly own a home, and the other 2/3 are either renting or paying mortgage, which is basically renting. With this crazy, insane, high interest mortgage rates, you might as well be renting right now. And even RBC is chipping in now, because eventually I think what's going to happen, guys, is the big companies, the big banks, the big corporations are going to own all the houses. They are going to be the big rental landlords. As more and more Canadians are losing their houses, they're becoming renters. Well, who owns these houses? A lot of small renters are being pushed out of business because of ridiculous government, overhanded, overbearing rules on the landlords. So people are selling their houses, and the banks, the big corporations, are the ones that are going to take over and start renting to people. And here is RBC's take on that. It says the bottom line: the rapid growth in renters is not about to slow down. Even RBC says it's going to increase. So concerted efforts among policymakers, developers, and builders are required to ensure, expand, and diversify Canada's stock of suitable, affordable, and stable rental housing. Basically, RBC is saying to let's build more to rent to people, meaning the rental will be the main way of living in Canada, which is very sad, guys. Basically, you're going to lease one of the most important aspects of your life you're not going to own in Canada, which is owning your own home, owning your peace of mind in your small piece of square where the Knights of the Queen are not going to come and kick you and tell you to get out of the square. You can't even own that square in this vast and resource-rich country such as Canada. Now, the reason why you can't do that, another reason we now will get into, is the property tax rates that are just jumping and jumping insanely high because of crazy policies across Canada with this insane liberal thinking that dominates Canada from Ontario to British Columbia. It's insanity. 10.5% increase now in Toronto in January on properties, and they're saying it could be 16% increase. They're not sure yet, but this increase might be 16%. This is nationwide.